3 days after arriving on the island, James was walking through the thick jungle when his boot hit metal. He cleared the vines and dug into the dirt and found it, an old submarine, half buried in mud and covered in rust, like the island had been swallowing it for years. Most people would have seen a wreck. James saw a home. He knocked on the metal, pressed his ear against it, solid. He stared at it for a long moment, then quietly said, "Maybe this could work." The work begins. The hatch was rusted, completely shut. Decades of salt air had basically welded it in place. James spent a day and a half on that hatch alone. He sharpened rocks against each other to chip away at the rust. He found a length of old pipe nearby and used it as a lever. He applied pressure, steady, patient, unrelenting pressure, the way only a man with no other options can. And here's the thing about James that you need to understand. He never once tried to do everything at once. One thing, he says, just the next one thing. The hatch is rusted, okay. Work on the hatch. Don't think about the kitchen. Don't think about the bed. Just the hatch. That patience, that discipline, was going to save his life. And he didn't even know it yet. After nearly 2 days, the hatch screamed open. He left it like that for 2 full days to breathe before he went inside. Going in, the smell hit him first. Decades of trapped air, old fuel, rust, things he doesn't describe in detail anymore. He just says, it smelled like the inside of a closed coffin. But when his eyes adjusted to the dark, when his hands started reading the walls, the way a blind man reads a room, something shifted inside him. The hull was intact. The curved ceiling arched over him like a ribcage. Pipes ran everywhere. Old bunks, rusted, but standing. Dead control panels. A floor covered in something that used to be insulation. It was claustrophobic. It was dark. It smelled terrible. And James stood in the middle of it and felt, for the first time since landing on that island, hope. Because this wasn't ruin. This was raw material, light, air, and the first miracle. Before he could live in it, he had to let it breathe. Using nothing but rocks, sharpened against other rocks, he carefully created ventilation openings through the conning tower, the raised section at the top of the submarine. It took days. Each strike, deliberate. Each piece of metal, removed, studied, set aside. Then came the windows. Along the shoreline, James had noticed a particular type of flat stone, slightly translucent, the way certain rock is when sunlight passes through it. At the right angle, he collected pieces, smoothed them, fitted them over openings. He cut into the upper hull. They weren't beautiful. They were uneven, imperfect, rough around every edge. But one morning, the sun moved across the sky, and light came through those openings and fell across the floor of that submarine in long, broken strips of gold. James sat down on the floor. He just sat there. That was the moment, he says. And you can hear something change in his voice when he says it. That was the moment. It stopped being a project. It became a home. Building a life inside a machine. The sleeping area came together, using 3 of the original bunks, the ones still structurally sound. He repositioned them, lined them with layers of palm fronds, dried and relayered, until they became something almost resembling a mattress. He built a table from wood, cut in the jungle, built shelves from wood, and salvaged metal brackets, organized everything with a precision that was almost obsessive. But that's what isolation does. When the space around you is all you have, you take care of it. The kitchen was where James surprised even himself. In the old engine room, at the back of the submarine, he built a hearth, flat stones, stacked carefully, inside a cutout section of hull, with a chimney, made from old pipe, angled upward, through one of his ventilation openings. It failed the first time. Smoke filled the entire interior. He stumbled out through the hatch, coughing, eyes streaming. He went back in and fixed it. It failed again. He fixed it again. On the third attempt, smoke rose cleanly through the chimney and out into the open air above. He cooked his first meal in that submarine that evening. Fish from the shallows, a kind of broth he made from coconut and whatever else the island offered. He says it was the best thing he ever tasted. Not because it was good, he says, laughing softly. It was not good, but I made it with my own hands, in my own home. That made it taste like something. The thing about being human, James didn't just survive in the submarine. He made it his. He carved marks in the wood, kept a calendar, and slept beneath an open hatch, where he could see the sky. I used to count the stars through that hatch, he says. I'd lose count every time, but I kept doing it. What stays built? James was eventually found. He doesn't talk much about the rescue, only that it happened. When the boat appeared, he felt relief, and something close to grief. He returned once later. The place felt smaller, or maybe he had changed. But the light still came through the stone openings, falling in broken strips of gold. He stood in it for a while, then left. Some places, he says, you build once, and they stay built, even after you're gone.